What's going on YouTube? This is NecroStevo and you are watching one of my trainer tips videos. Today we're going to talk about how to quickly EV train your Pokemon in X and Y, so I hope you guys can find this resource useful. Now there are a few things you're going to need before you start EV training and doing it in a very efficient way. First of all, you're going to need the power items. There's a power item for each stat, and you can get them for trading 16 BP each at the Battle Mason trade-in program. You can get BP from battling at the Battle Mason, or you can, of course, do the battle test in Lumio City. I've found that earlier on, the battle test is going to be a better source of BP, just because their early matches at the Battle Mason only give you 1 for each match, then 2 for each match, and then 20 when you beat the little leader person. But once you get all those, you're going to need a couple of Pokemon here. I suggest a Pokemon that can use Sweet Scent and a spread move. So my go-to example is going to be Venusaur, of course. Venusaur learns Sweet Scent at a pretty early level, and it can use Petal Blizzard, that it learns level 50. And also, in case you encounter any shinies, Venusaur can learn Sleep Powder, because I've encountered a shiny Gulpin in the time that I've been looking for Pokemon there. It's also good to have a Pokemon that can use Fly, just so you can get quickly from area to area there, even though we're only going to be switching between 3 different areas for the 6 stats. So, starting off here, Chaleur City is going to be where we start. Make sure you go to Laver City before you do any of this and get some vitamins for your Pokemon. You can do up to 10 vitamins in 1 stat before you do any EV treating, and that's going to be the equivalent of 100 EVs. So we're going to do that to Pinsir here. We're going to go to our bag. We're going to, Pinsir, of course, is going to be EV trained in speed and attack. So that's going to be Carbos, and it's going to be protein. So when I give him 10 Carbos, each Carbos is worth 10 EVs. 10 times 10 is 100. Yay, alright, math. So, you can see on the top screen there, right when I'm going to hit 10 there, because I had 25 to start off with, so I can't give him any more Carbos. If you have any EVs on your Pokemon before you start, you can erase them using the berries that you can grow in the fields. You can get mutated Pomeg, Hondu, all the berries that apply to a specific stat. Those will lower that stat and raise your friendliness as well. Or you can, of course, get the clear bag from training and super training and then have your Pokemon use that, and that'll erase all their EVs as well. So there's a couple methods for you to reset the EVs back to where you can get started. So here we are, right outside of Route 12. This is right outside of Chaleur City. This is going to be where we encounter speed and special attack EVs. I'm doing speed right now for Pinsir. So you're going to use your Pokemon with Sweet Scent. Do not run around in the grass. You need to use Sweet Scent because that guarantees a Horde encounter. And you have a pretty good chance of encountering Wingull or Mareep. Now 5 Wingull or Mareep will appear. Each one of them normally gives 1 EV for speed in Wingull's case. If they each give 1 EV for speed, then you have Pokerus on your Pokemon, which can be, of course, obtained in-game, or, of course, the easiest way is typically to ask one to trade. It will double that to 2 EVs, and then the Power Anklet, or the power item that you have equipped, will, of course, add another 4. So, I'm sorry, the Power Anklet will add 4, then it will double it. So basically, you're going to get 5 EVs per Pokemon, and then it gets doubled because of the Pokerus. And I'm putting the math up there just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. And what does that mean? That means you're getting 50 EV points per battle. And shoutouts to, I think NBZ may have posted a video about this, and a couple other people did. I'm just going a little bit more into depth about it to help you guys understand the math there. And so basically you need to kill, or KO rather, Pokemon terms, 3 groups to get to 150 EVs, assuming you used your 100 vitamins to start off with. So this is a third group of Wingull that I'm defeating here with Pinsir in the back with the experience share on. And so that means Pinsir right now has 250 EVs in speed. So if we go down to the bottom screen here and look at on the super training screen, there's actually a little bar on the side that lets you keep up with how many EVs you have. Here you can see I'm well over halfway, and that's because I have 250 speed EVs and 100 attack EVs from the vitamins I used. Now 250, I'm sure you guys are thinking from what you've heard, wait, I heard you need to do 252. How do I get those last 2 EVs? What's the best way? And I have found that the quickest way to do that is just either to use one of those super training bags and tap on the screen, or just go and do a quick little super training round in the first little area on the level 1 to the super training. They've changed it so that the areas will only give you a multiple of of 4 there, so it's not going to give me the 4 EVs. It's only going to give me 2 in speed because that's the next stat point that I can get to. So now he has 252 EVs in speed. From Camp Friere Town, we go, once again, leave the city to the right, and on Route 5 you can encounter HP and attack EVs. HP EVs are from Gulpin, and attack EVs are from Scraggy. Now, remember, we're training in HP, speed and attack for my pincer. If you encounter a horde that you don't want to go up against, just run. You only get EVs if you get experience points, and that's kind of important to remember there. So if you encounter a group that you don't need, just run. Here, again, we're going to KO 3 hordes of Scraggy, which is again is going to give us 150 attack EVs. Then we're just going to go in one more time and do the super training to get 2 more EVs. And that's going to give us 152 added to the vitamins that we used earlier on Pincer. That'll give him 252 attack EVs. And so just like that, in 6 battles, I think I had to run away from 2 battles, Pincer is completely EV trained basically. So we're going to take a look at the bottom screen here. We can see that once again, there's a tiny little tick at the very top that's still missing. He had attack and speed look basically maxed out. Attack is still missing 2, so we need to do the super training for that right there. And then, of course, he still has 6 EVs left over after that because, of course, you can have a maximum of 510 EVs. So that means you have 6 EVs to put wherever you kind of want to. Now, you can see right here, I just went ahead and EV trained in the last 2 attack points, and there's still a tiny little gap at the top of the EV training graph there in super training. And so let's just, we'll throw a couple HP points on there. And so I went ahead and I did level 2 of HP training so that I could get 8 EVs, but I only have 6 left to actually use up there. So you can see the plus 6 in HP. That means that, of course, you only get an EV for every 4 EV points. I mean, you only get a stat point for every 4 EV points you get. So even if you go 252, 252, there's still going to be 2 left over. But when you fully maxed out a Pokemon, you will get this message at the bottom. And you will also get the little pumped up symbol beside your Pokemon status on the bottom screen, showing that they have been completely EV trained. You can see that symbol right there. The bar is full on the right. Pincer is done. And I believe he's only at level 9 or something like that. So, this method also works if you have multiple Pokemon that you want to train, just get multiple power items. But here, just to show you again, Gulpin gives HP EVs, so if we need those, again, Route 5, right outside of Camp Friere Town, KO a couple hordes of Gulpin. If you need attack if you need special defense or defense EVs, go to Reflection Cave. As in Reflection Cave, you can encounter Mime Jr. for special defense, or Roggenrola. Roggenrola can be a little annoying because they'll have Sturdy, unless they have their hidden ability in Sand Force. But outside of those, and Carbink, excuse me, sometimes shows up with Roggenrola as well. But I'm relatively certain he gives 2 EVs in defense, but that is not completely proven at this point. So, for now I'm going to say run for them. But of course, Mime Jr. gets special defense. Roggenrola give physical defense, 1 EV point each. So still you're going to KO 3 groups to get to that 150 mark after you've used your vitamins to get to the 100 mark. Now, of course, you could not use any vitamins at all. If you don't use any vitamins at all, you're just going to KO twice as many groups. You're going to KO 6 groups. So that is going to be how you do that. Now, if you have any questions, I'm going to put up a screen here just saying where you find each thing, the amount of EVs you get from it, or what type of EVs rather. That's very simple though. And of course, if you want to give more complex EV spreads to your Pokemon, just remember that hordes do things in groups of 50. Of course, you can encounter the same Pokemon for only 10 EVs per Pokemon if you encounter it by itself. And of course, there's always super training, which can break down in groups of 12, 8, or 4 EVs. That way you can get a little bit more granular with your EVs. Say you want to give something 112 EVs in something. You could KO 2 groups and then do the super training for plus 12 on level 3, that type of thing. So keep in mind, it's a little bit more flexible now. It's much easier to get EVs. It probably only took me 10 minutes, maybe 8, not having to run away from those 2 battles there to EV train my Pinsir. So keep all that in mind. I hope you guys find this video useful, and happy training. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments, and I'll be around to answer them. Alright, bye now.